Hi, my lovelies. Welcome to another postcard from the angels. We have entered this amazing full moon in Aquarius energy last night, and it will give us the boost that we are so desperately wanting to receive. Now, this doesn't come without conflict, it doesn't come without contrast or anything. A full moon in Aquarius during Leo season, which are completely opposite signs, might be a challenging period where you need to go through some internal pain, I want to call it that, but I'll go deeper into explaining how that pain manifests. But it's just because the energy of Leo is very self-confident, self-assured. It makes you look into yourself and to practice more self-care, right? To look into the vain sides of you. And I don't mean vain as in a bad thing. I really mean taking care of yourself, focusing more on the self and not paying so much attention to others. So the Leo season is very much a period of you versus you. So you really looking within, looking at your purpose, looking at the things that really mean a lot to you, the things that you really, really want to have. It doesn't matter how superficial they may look like to other people, but really looking within, looking into the self. Now, a full moon in Aquarius, and Aquarius energy is always going to be about you versus others. It's going to make you look at the relationships around you. May they be romantic, friendships, at work, with family, with friends, it doesn't matter. You're going to have to look at those relationships in your life, and you're going to have to look at the purpose of them in your life. The ones that are really, really important for you will be shown to you by way of signs and synchronicities, numbers, visions, and a lot of guidance from spirit. Okay, but we enter the stage wanting to create something. We want to create, more than anything, a change in our lives. And the change needs to come from us releasing a scarcity mentality that we have absorbed from our upbringing. We are all raised poor. It doesn't matter how much money there was in your family. We are all raised poor. And it's up to us to break that conditioning going forward to the future generations, including our kids. But we come from this conditioning from our parents, right? We are raised listening to things like money doesn't fall from the sky, money doesn't fall from the trees, save it for a rainy day, which is the worst thing, because it not only says you lack, you don't have enough resources, so you need to create a reserve. And then the second bad side of that is saying something bad is going to happen. So you need to be aware that bad things are coming to you and you need to prevent them from happening, right? So it's such a thing that is so imprinted within us growing up that, again, it doesn't matter how much money your family had. What you made was never enough. You always needed to have a bigger house or a bigger salary or a bigger car, a faster car. It doesn't matter. But we are raised in this scarcity and poverty mentality. And we really start taking decisions in our lives just with the purpose of having more, being more, achieving more. And that really takes us away from our essence. It really takes us away from our passion. Now, us wanting to create this change is really releasing all of those attachments that we have with the material world and creating a new intention, which is solely based on growth. And this energy of Aquarius is really making us look at the relationships that we have around us and understand which ones are making us grow, which ones are not allowing us to move forward because we're stuck in the same energy. Now, the synchronicities that are coming to you, and this is really important for all of us to understand, is that what should be the rule became the exception and vice versa. Having signs from Spirit, having insights from Spirit, receiving downloads, receiving information, being tapped into the spiritual world should be the rule. So we should say, I am always tapped into that source, and sometimes I deviate and I go more with my mind that is separate from source, and I make decisions from ego. Now what happens is we have the feeling that we're constantly detached from the spiritual world, and sometimes we receive some insights. But here's the thing, source is constantly speaking to you and with you and for you, constantly. God is speaking 24/7. Now, our willingness to listen is something else, because the messages that we receive from the spiritual world are not always easy to take in or easy to process and digest. They're also guidance and advice that are not always easy to take, because they make us face our own fears or face situations from the past that we need to dissolve. So it's not that we only listen to Spirit once in a while. That should be the rule, actually. We should always be tapped into that energy. And the exception should be, sometimes I'm not able to listen. So we need to create that change. We need to invert the roles of our mind and our soul, so we're able to listen more, to have more moments where we are hearing the voice of Spirit than the ones when we are not. The only way to do that is really from detaching from the material needs and the material desires that we've been carrying for so long. And it doesn't mean that they will not come to fruition. It means that the way that you're going about it is not the way to get it, right? So what happens is we think that, oh, Spirit brings me a lot of lemons. Yeah, because they want you to drink lemonade. It's the same thing that I do with my clients, same thing that I do with my channelings and my articles. They're not always easy to swallow, but I don't give you lemons so you suck on them. I give you lemons so you can make the lemonade, right? So this is already the concept that you cannot achieve freedom without having truth in your life. But you can also not expect that the truth will hurt you, because it will show you sides of you and sides of others that you need to embrace and you need to accept and you need to allow, right? So not only you need to accept who you are, but this energy is making you accept others the way they are. So it's you versus others. And you can only forgive them as far as you forgive yourself. And you can only accept them the way they are as long as you accept who you are fully. So our ability to accept other people for who they are is a reflection of our own willingness to accept ourselves the way we are. Now, what Spirit is really wanting us to look is past the pain, past the block, plus the stuckiness of all the situations that we may have going on in our lives, and take us back into a moment where everything was flowing so easily that we didn't even have to think about the things that we were doing. When we were lighter, funnier, when everything just seemed to flow without us having to create resistance to things all the time. When we were not worried about creating an intention because the intention came from our own essence, and we were just allowing it to be, to manifest. Right? So take a moment here, look back into your life in the past, and have a deep look at the things that worked out for you effortlessly, and understand how those things are being presented to you right now. So the way we can connect more with Source, connect more with Spirit, connect more with God, whatever you want to call it, is to really get into the vibration where they can work with you and operate with you. And the way to do that is really to have fun. Because when you start to have fun, you start to get into the energy of joy and the vibration of joy, which is the vibration of spirit. So it doesn't mean that they will not be by your side if you're going through moments of pain and suffering and, all of that drama and trauma. But it means that they have a better way of working with you and for you and through you when you are in that vibration, which is joy. And you can only get to that joy once you relax and chill and have fun. So what happens is, when we can't find that energy, they start to send people into our lives and situations into our lives that will allow us to actually go into that vibration of joy and just chill. That's all that you need to do, is relax and chill and get out of your mind. Because you feeling stuck, or you feeling in apathy, or feeling lack of motivation, lack of purpose, lack of direction and all of that, can only mean that you are too much in your mind and not enough in your spirit. So again, it's creating the change, inverting that dynamic where you say, I am more in touch with the spiritual dimension than I am not. There are more moments of awareness during my day than the moments where I'm not tapping into that energy. I am more connected with this pool of consciousness than the moments when I am not. Right? So that's what you need to invert, is to look at everything as a spiritual experience and not get so trapped in your mind trying to understand why things are happening the way they are, why these people did, why people did what they did, why is this manifesting like this, how did I attract this into my life? Because here's the thing, you can attract from spirit, from that vibration of joy, but you also attract from your ego. Right? You also attract from your ego. And ego has such an intelligent way of working with us, because it makes you think that you are separated from your source. And therefore, you constantly need to reach out. You need to call in help. You need to, right? It's an energy of despair. Ego tells you, you separated from God. You committed a sin. But don't worry, I have a way out for us. Follow me. And so we start to act from fear of punishment, fear of judgment, fear of lack. And so we start making decisions based on the material world, based on the opinion of our ego, which believes to be separated from God. And then we only reach out to our source when we're in trouble. It's almost like we make a lot of mistakes and then we go and apologize. And Source will always forgive you. Source will never turn its back on you. Source will never stop feeding you information and working on your own salvation and redemption. Ever. Ever. But it will also never punish you or judge you for the decisions that you made. Because Source is love, and love simply is. There is no other definition than that. God is, love is, I am that I am. So just for us to understand that we accumulate a lot of unconscious guilt throughout our days. So this guilt is something that we're not fully aware of, but we do it all the time. Just the fact that we are late to be at a certain appointment, or because we fell asleep and we got up later, and because we missed something, because we forgot to do something. All of those events, we create a lot of unconscious guilt for ourselves. We're not aware of it, but it's constantly being stored in our subconscious mind. And that is what is perpetuating the mentality of scarcity and poverty. I can never get it right. I can never be on time. I'm never making enough money. I am never being fully respected. I am never being fully loved. I never get an equal balance in my relationships. I am never appreciated at my work. I am never validated for the things that I do. Right? That's a scarcity mentality. That's the poverty mentality that we are raised. And then we perpetuate all of that with our own thoughts, with our own mind. And every time something happens, it just reaffirms that statement, internal statement that we already have. But if we start to have more healthy statements within, then the universe will also support you in making sure that you believe in them. I'm hoping that I'm making sense here. But it really is what you carry within your mind that will determine what is being manifested. And what you believe to be true about yourself and you in the world is exactly what is going to manifest. So sometimes we say, well, how did I attract this person into my life? Or how did I get myself into this situation? But the truth is, you're also manifesting from your mind, and you also manifest from your unconscious beliefs. They are still there in the back of your mind. Some of them you're aware of, and some of them you're not. You become aware of them once something happens. You go like, damn, I knew this was going to happen. Like, I knew this was going to happen. Or you say, I was always afraid that this would happen. Right? So you're not only manifesting from your spirit, from the intention of your essence, you're also manifesting from the subconscious fears of your mind. And that's what needs to be changed. It's just that. Because once you start believing that you deserve a better job, then a better job will be presented to you. And once you believe that you deserve the relationship of your dreams, then it will be presented to you. But you need to believe that it will, rather than think, this never works out for me. I never get what I need. I never get what I want. Because that's still the energy of scarcity and poverty. And Source does not operate in that energy. Spirit does not operate in that energy. It's forbidden ground for them, right? They cannot step into that energy and help you. They cannot go as low as those emotions to come and get you out of it. But you have the ability to step out of that energy and rise a little bit higher and meet Spirit in the energy of joy. So have fun. That's all Spirit wants you now, is have fun. Have a yes man moment in your life. Say yes to things. Say yes to invitations. Say yes to friends calling you to go do something that you usually wouldn't do. Say yes, because a lot of things come once you relax that energy and actually have fun, rather than forcing yourself to do things that your mind thinks you should be doing. It's insane, isn't it? That we're not even aware that we're doing things that don't bring any pleasure whatsoever into our lives. And we think like, oh, I must sacrifice, I must sacrifice. I must justify my presence here. Like I hear a lot of people saying, Jesus died on the cross for us. So that also creates a lot of energy of punishment, of almost you needing to be worthy of your presence here because someone else sacrificed their lives for you. And so you go and do it all the time. Self-punishment. Right? Insane. It's insanity. It's insanity. This world of illusion that we have created for ourselves with all of this programming and all of this conditioning, what's important for us to understand is that if we have created it, if we have found our way in, then we are responsible for finding our way out as well. Simple as that. You are the architect of all your problems. So you must be the architect of all your solutions for sure. But you cannot find those solutions, and you cannot find your way, and you cannot find your purpose and direction while you're still staying in the energy of the problem itself. So if you have a problem to solve, go out and have fun. I know it sounds counterproductive, but go out and have fun, and the answers will come to you. The signs will come to you if you allow them to. But if you stay too stuck in your mind, then it is for sure going to be really, really difficult for Spirit to step in and actually bring you what you need to hear, right? So I'm going to leave it at that for today. There is more channelings on my Patreon page where I am actually talking about relationships. There is kind of an energy of being watched online, or you feeling the urge to go check your person's profile and investigate and do some research. So I've been talking about that on my Patreon page, and I'm going to go deeper into those energies going forward, so people can understand what really is happening, but also explaining how the energy dynamic is happening between you and your person, your divine counterpart, so you can understand a little bit more of your divine connections down here. Okay, I'm sending you so much love and so many blessings. My schedule for private sessions is open from next Monday going forward again. So feel free to reach out to me if you need some extra guidance along your way now. And I will be back soon with more news from the other side. I love you, love you, love you. I'm sending you a lot of blessings, and I'm praying that you stay safe and protected within the power of your own heart. Big love to all of you.